Daniel, I ask you,
Okay,
what is
I'll listen.
better than a hot, steaming bowl of queso with some nice corn tortilla chips?
Boy.
What's better than melted butter all over popcorn as you settle in for that? What's better than a filet mignon sent straight to your door? Oh, I'll tell you.
Um,
The Dawgs number one, Bama, nowhere to be seen,
oh,
and
so
the
close. No, so
so
close.
close. Come back and talk to me about the standard. We're talking college football playoff here on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? It is
Yes,
so
sir.
good to see you. This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel. That is Clint. Today's episode is brought to you by
Come on.
the fine folks over at Omaha Steaks. There they are, right down there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I'll talk to you more about them in a second. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for bringing you this episode.
And thank you for going over to the audio side and subscribing.
Yeah, if you're on the YouTube right now, go ahead and do us a favor. Hit up the audio portion of the podcast. It's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, go and follow, subscribe, whatever the language or terminology of the app of your choice is. Go ahead and do that over there. Get the show to and from work every single day. If you are on YouTube, thanks so much. Subscribe to the YouTube. Drop us a comment. Let us know that you're listening. The college football playoff rankings are out, Clint, and those rankings matter. See, there are so many rankings that don't matter
The AP poll.
forever. The coaches poll for longer than that. But these college football playoff rankings, Clint, they do matter, and
Yes,
the
sir.
Georgia Bulldogs did find themselves at number one. We are the undisputed best team in the country, and that would have been enough for me today, honestly.
But then,
It
but
would
then
have been enough.
what was that? What was that nice little?
But they honestly believed they were going to get in, Clint. That's the funny part about it.
Daniel, I was trolling
is
you
these
all week.
People honestly believed.
I was trolling Daniel all week in our text thread, telling him Bam's going to get in. Daniel, Bam's going to in. This committee wants to put them in.
And I thought no human person could actually believe that. But Alabama fans actually believed that.
They believed it.
And it hurts right now. It hurts so good.
So good.
Georgia's not matched up against Alabama. They
No.
are matched up against Michigan's little brother, none other than the university that cannot beat Jim Harbaugh.
Trademark that.
That is the school that we're going to be playing. And Ohio State fans, let me just be the first to welcome you to the comments. Welcome you to the show. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other. Actually, I'm not going to be seeing any of you.
No.
You're going to be
It's
seeing
just
quite a bit of me.
It's more like a spring break romance. You're going to last 1 week.
That's correct. You're going to leave a lot of mean comments.
So much.
And there's not going to be any way for me to get a hold of you, nor would I have any interest in getting a hold of you. But it's going to be a great relationship. We're
it's gonna
going
be
to
fun.
enjoy our time together. And we got a lot. I mean, we got plenty of time, but there's a lot to discuss. And so, Clint, I'm just going to let's just lead off and say, forget about the other matchup for a second. Let's forget about teams that aren't in the playoff. And let's forget about teams
So many.
that Georgia's not playing in round one. And
Okay.
let's just talk about Ohio State. I was on a show earlier today, and I revealed some of my thoughts. If you
had a spicy take. Are you going to give the caliente take?
yeah, I'll lead with that, and then I'll let you respond.
Okay.
I said it earlier today, and I absolutely meant it, and I'm going to say it again. I would rather play Ohio State than TCU. I know
There it
there's a
is.
lot of Georgia fans that do not agree with that take. I know there's a lot of Georgia fans that think I'm crazy. They got 5 stars for days. They got all
Sure.
this talent. They got all this whatever.
Sure.
Ryan Day is okay. I would rather play Ohio State than TCU. I think that some of the things that TCU can do, specifically throw to freak massive wide receivers. I'm not talking about ultra talented wide receivers. I know Ohio State has those.
Yes, they do.
I'm talking about Megatron type looking fools at wide receiver, and Max Duggan just lays it out there, just hucks it down the field.
He closed his eyes for half the game, Daniel.
That's a way. Well, it was like a Rocky Balboa situation. He physically could not open his eye for half that game. That's the type of thing that scares me as a Georgia fan. Yes. That's the way that I think you beat Georgia. I don't think you beat Georgia by matriculating the ball down the field.
No.
I don't think you beat Georgia by throwing little crossers and running after the catch. That's not how I think you beat Georgia.
That's interesting, Daniel.
So while I think Ohio State can throw the deep ball, I don't think that they throw it as much or as well. Maybe they throw it as much because they throw the ball a lot more. And so, but in terms of the amount of times that it hit, the percentage of times that it hits, I think TCU offers a bigger matchup challenge than Ohio State. I think Ohio State is a very good team, but I would rather play them than TCU, and so I'm happy.
This is, I mean, we're not trolling. We're not trying to get likes. We're not trying to get views.
Later.
We will do that later. We're not national media guys, so we're not just speaking without an education or an understanding of how college football works. This is a true statement, and if you need any further proof of why we want to play Ohio State as opposed to anybody else, look at the Pac-12 championship. Let me tell you the same exact thing you said. An inventive, all-world coach, whatever you mean by that, which Lincoln Riley and Ryan Day are not. Ryan Day is John Travolta currently with a fake beard on in movies, Daniel. That's what Ryan Day is, okay? He's a fraud.
Is Lincoln Riley then? I'm sorry, we need to cut in here.
Nicholas, okay.
Is Lincoln Riley and Ryan Day just another, like a remake of the movie Face Off?
I was just going to say.
Is he the Nick Cage?
He's the Nick Cage, yes.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Ohio State, look at what happened at USC. All-world Heisman, uber-talented arm action quarterback. Check.
Okay.
Coach, inventive, great, check.
Okay.
5 stars for days everywhere. Check.
Okay.
Wide receivers that can play for days. Check.
Okay.
But you don't have a soul of your team. That's what Georgia does so well. Georgia is the anaconda that will squeeze you and suffocate you for 4 quarters. Like Kirby says, they can't hide. And we're here.
They have to stand in front of you and try to block the giant angry men that are coming straight towards CJ Stroud. They're not going to be able to do that, Clint.
They can't do that. Now, you could tell me all day long Big Ten knows how to play tough football. No, you don't. Ohio State does not pride themselves on tough football.
No.
They're not physical.
Well, have we seen any examples of that?
Have we seen
any examples of a team being physical with them and absolutely taking them to the woodshed, Clint? We surely haven't.
Not at home to end the season.
No, certainly not at the vaunted shoe.
Daniel, let me just, again, to belabor the point further, Northwestern kept it a 21-7 game, and you could tell me the weather, you're right, the weather goes to my point. That's where your team pulls up their pants and says, I'm going to out-physical you.
But they can't do that.
They can't do that to the tune of 21-7.
CJ Stroud ran for more yards than he passed for in that game. Is he going to run for more yards than he passes for against Georgia? Is that how they're going to beat Georgia?
Let me ask any other mobile quarterback that Georgia has faced. Daniel, but I'm not done there. Penn State 31-44. Daniel, 31 points. Maryland 30 points. Toledo, now you put 77 on Toledo, but it was 21 points. Notre Dame 21-10.
Well, that Joker, that defensive coordinator, he's going to come in there. He's going to fix that defense, Clint. That defense is fixed. I'm not sure if you know that. But surely J.J. McCarthy is not going to come in there and make this defense look like a fool. Is he? Clint? Is he?
Look, y'all, we could debate and we could talk, and you could think we're not trolling Ohio State. The teams that give me
At that point, we
scares,
probably were trolling a little bit.
yeah, right there.
Just not.
The teams that give me scares are teams that have backbone and soul and have tenacity. Ohio State doesn't have any of it because they emulate their coach, just like USC emulates their coach.
No.
So we find. Just let me know how I'm doing, Ohio State fan, down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Hey, we're going to come back after this, Daniel. But first, we'll let you know about Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks are fantastic. They've been around forever, 1917. They are convenient.
It's the oldest butcher in the United States.
Did you know that?
Which is it's not the original butcher, just so we're clear. That's not. There is not some 100-and-something-year-old man just hacking up this cow.
You don't know that. I don't know.
I don't know that.
That the man of integrity is not on a yacht currently.
Oh, my Lord.
Daniel,
I hadn't even thought for 1 second.
Oh, no. We there. But first, again, Omaha Steaks deserves this time because they have integrity. They come straight to your door. They have air-chilled boneless chicken. They have filet steaks, ultra juicy burgers. And Daniel and I have had these things before. And let me tell you,
we have.
My goodness, they're fantastic. I don't care how it gets to you. We love getting them. We've seen these before. We cannot talk more about them. And right now, you get 30% off your entire order at Omaha Steaks. Get over there right now before the holiday rush happens. Minimum order may be required. Promo code locked on for 30% off your entire order. Omaha Steaks.
We cannot get into it today, Clint, but we got so many days. And now I have just now realized that Urban Meyer, there's an Urban Meyer angle to this. The Chancellor of Integrity himself. Man. Okay, let's talk about something Ohio State fans don't know anything about. Michigan.
Get off the yacht.
Michigan is UGA Junior. They are the...
I said this, Daniel, last week. You gave me you asked me this, and I said the team that I don't want to play the most right now is Michigan.
They're UGA Junior.
Yeah.
They are the mini-sized version of the University of Georgia. They're a bully.
No.
They want to push you around. They want to absolutely step on your throat and end the fight before it even gets started.
Correct.
And by and large, they have been able to do that to most of their opponents this year. And they've done that in the trenches, on the offensive and defensive lines, and with a power running game and a quarterback that has afforded himself better than I thought he would this year. Now, they lose Blake Corum, and you think the wheels have fallen off, it's all going to come apart. Well, not so fast, my friend, because the wheels have not come off, and it seems to be clicking on all cylinders. This team matches up against a TCU team, Clint, that has done nothing but mess around with its food all year. I mean, Iowa State game notwithstanding, this TCU team has just messed around with absolutely every opponent they have played, but they have found ways to win. They found a way to win in the Big 12 title game, and then they just gave it away from the 1-yard line, which I can't even get into that series of play calls. I cannot and will not do it.
Sonny Dykes has earned a little bit of a mulligan. I don't know if it's that big of a mulligan.
He used it all up. I
don't know if that was such a major one. It's probably gone now.
If they win that game, I honest to goodness think Max Duggan might win the Heisman.
Yes, he does.
That drive that he put on with most of his body not functioning properly.
He should have gone straight to the ICU.
That drive was spectacular.
Yes, it really
was everything college football is all about. What do you think about this TCU-Michigan matchup? The early line is 9.5. I'll just come out and tell you, I think that is disrespectful, but I would love to know your thoughts, very early thoughts on this game.
Here's what I think you're looking at TCU. You're looking at Michigan. This is the old stalwart, the known commodity that is Michigan. Okay, they have that soul, they have that backbone. Daniel, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I've mocked him.
Uh-oh.
Harbaugh doing some things.
You just called Ryan Day John Travolta with a painted-on beard.
Correct.
And then you said...
And then I said...
Just to troll those Ohio State fans in the comments a
Old
little more.
khakis.
You said... Old Crazy Eyes McGee over here, he might be a pretty good coach.
Look, I was a Niner fan when he was coaching them.
He a better coach than his brother-in-law. I'll tell you that right about now.
Look, Daniel, we will have time to talk about UGA basketball because they're an exciting team.
You better.
You
better get ready.
I've come around.
Buckle up.
Harbaugh is a good coach.
Okay.
He's got this team playing well. I don't care about the Corum injury because, again, the backbone of this team is a well-ran system. It's a well-ran structure. TCU seems like a really good excitement story, which is dangerous. I think it's disrespectful. 9.5 is very disrespectful because this team can put it on you. TCU can put it on you. They've done it all year long in the Big 12, Daniel.
Absolutely.
They've had to. It's chaos all the time over there.
Absolutely.
Michigan is the tried and true. You know what you're going to get.
Yep.
And let's get, which is why it's the 9.5, because you're betting on chaos coming to an end, wheels falling off finally, as it's been held together by glue and duct tape. But I'm here to tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
If TCU keeps this energy going, which again, they only got 2 games and they got a whole month to prepare, Daniel, 9.5 is too many daggum points.
Don't you feel like in this game that Michigan is going to score somewhere between 28 and 31 points? Guaranteed?
It's a guarantee against TCU because, again, they just apply their hand.
I'm not saying TCU doesn't have a good defense.
No.
I'm just saying
they have a good defense.
That's what Michigan's going to do. You know what Michigan's going to do. TCU, on the other hand, is going to score somewhere between 3 and 49 points in this game.
Correct.
So good luck trying to bet on it because one of the teams is going to be in the upper 20s, lower 30s, and you can take that to the bank. The other team, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do from any giveaway. Listen, this is a team that will go on droughts and then will just put together 3 straight touchdown drives on you. If this team puts it together for 4 quarters, TCU, that's what they did against Iowa State. If this team puts it together for 4 quarters, the offense is freaking lights out. It's dynamic. They run the ball enough with backs. They run the ball with Duggan. And they have, again, physical freaks at wide receiver. And they've got some speedy guys as well. This team can go right down the field and score on you, put a ton of pressure on a Michigan offense. Does Michigan offense want a ton of pressure on it, Clint? No.
Because the same duct tape and glue that has held together TCU is the same exact material holding together the quarterback position for Michigan.
That is the elephant in the room. Does J.J. McCarthy have to beat you? Because if he does, Michigan.
I like my chances if I make it a one-dimensional game with him being the quarterback that has to do it.
He lit up an absolutely inferior garbage can, worst defense in the Big Ten, Ohio State.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking Vanderbilt, but it's very the same.
No, Vanderbilt has been competitive this year. So I know that he did that, but he wasn't down with his back against the wall.
No.
Having to make those plays. There's a difference. And I don't want to get into like a Stetson Bennett type argument with JJ because that's not fair to Stetson Bennett. It's not fair to anybody. But you don't have a trust factor with him in this game. And so if TCU's offense comes out and puts it on Michigan and all of a sudden that power run game feels like it's not going to be quite enough to keep them in this game. Now, if you're TCU, I think you got a stew going, and you could see this thing get sideways on you in a hurry. TCU gets a couple turnovers, and all of a sudden, or Michigan could just stomp, put their foot down, and TCU fights valiantly, but Michigan just keeps on going. It's hard to know what to expect in this game. As a Georgia fan,
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to be in the playoff. Did all teams feel this way, right? Like all the teams are in the playoff. So everyone probably listening to the podcast feels this way. Surely your team wasn't left out of the playoff. And so surely you understand the feeling that I'm describing. It's fun to be in the playoff. But as a college football fan,
Okay.
number one, the Ohio State-Georgia matchup is maybe the most exciting first-round matchup in a college football playoff that I can ever remember.
The closest is Bama Clemson, right? Has to be the
Sure,
closest.
right.
But even that, this tops it.
I mean, all bias acknowledged, but yeah, I think you got these two storied programs who have not played against each other.
That's why
They've
it's
not
exciting.
Played.
Yeah.
And so now you're finally getting to see the collision of these two powers in the first round of the playoff. And then that Michigan TCU matchup, I just think I just described it. I think it's so fascinating. And so I think you got some great matchups. We got some more thoughts we'll share about this matchup, about Georgia going into the playoff.
I'm gonna hit you with a couple of stats, Daniel,
I can't
about this
wait
matchup.
to hear these stats coming back right after this.
But first, I want to talk about Built Bar. Built Bar is the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. How do we know? We've put all of
'Cause we eat
them
'em.
into our stomach, and we've loved
Through the mouth hole.
literally every last. You don't have to add hole to that. It's a mouth. We all understand what a mouth is, Daniel.
I just like to be specific.
You are look. Details are important.
Ohio
but
State's defense is hot garbage,
there it is.
not just garbage.
No, it's a hot mess, dumpster fire. Built Bar, not that. Built Bar is fantastic. We've tried them all. They are great. They are delicious. Right now, you get 15% off your entire order. They are high in protein. They are low in sugar, high in fiber. They are meal replacement on the go, pre-workout, post-workout, whatever you need. Built Bar is the protein bar to go to because it tastes like a candy bar. And I'm not just saying that. I am literally saying when I taste it, it tastes like a candy bar. I stole Daniel's when I went to his house because I ran out and
Never
he had
forgave you
some.
for that.
And I took them and ate them, and I had no shame about
We're
it.
supposed to be friends.
Built Bar, the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth.
Boy, I love a good stat on a Sunday evening, Clint.
Let me tell you this, Daniel. I'm going to paint you a picture.
Oh, this is an artistic stat.
I'm going to talk about Ohio State's vaunted offense.
Okay, what's the best offense in college football history?
Against
Except for
our-
Alabama, obviously. Sorry, didn't mean to
Clearly.
disrespect the king.
Points per game, 44.5 points per game. That's
They
after
walk off
putting
the
up
bus. They get 40. They hang 40 on everybody. That's what they do.
everybody. Yards per game, 492 yards per game.
That's a lot of
Points-
yards. Darn near
lot.
5 bills.
It's a lot.
Mhm.
However, what I was going to tell you that of that offense, passing percentage is 70th in the nation, meaning they pass the ball less than you anticipate an offense that is scoring and running that many yards, because clearly all offenses that are good, Daniel, only do air raid. It's only in Mississippi State out there. You can't have a power running game. We're doing these sorts of things. Okay.
Well, no, because the NFL doesn't believe in that, and we don't. It just doesn't win games, Clint.
Doesn't win games. So what I'm telling you is this vaunted offense
Okay.
passes the ball 70th in the nation.
I'm sorry. Seventh?
7-0.
17th.
0.
70th?
7-0.
Okay.
Okay. And of that, Daniel,
Mhm.
their rushing yards per game is 25th in the nation.
Oh.
So they rush the ball a lot more than they pass to
Yes.
set things up. When they run, Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the greatest in the world. It's mediocre in a conference that is, by the way, they were like 45th strength of schedule so far this year. Okay.
A conference that has Iowa,
Okay.
Michigan,
Okay.
and no other defenses.
That's it.
That's
Maryland
the only
is in there.
defenses. Rutgers is in there. Okay.
Okay. So rush yards a game, 198, just shy of 2 bills. They have a lot of yards. A lot of it comes through rushing. They try to rush that. And what if I was to tell you that quarterback sacked percentage, Daniel, is 2.08 times that they drop back, he is sacked, Daniel. Okay. Passing yards a game, 294. All of this, I'm looking at this offense and I'm trying to tell you this. This is the narrative that you're going to be told, that you're going to be trying to understand, that CJ Stroud has all these touchdowns, has all these weapons and all these receivers, and you can't stop an offense like that.
Correct.
And what if I was to tell you, now stop me if you've heard this before against Georgia. Georgia's going to say, if we can stop the run and make you pass, become one-dimensional, we win.
We win.
Daniel, you heard that before somewhere?
Now, hang on.
Okay.
What if I was to tell you that LSU was going to throw the ball for 500 yards against Georgia?
Sure.
They'd probably win, wouldn't they?
They'd probably – oh, wait.
Oh, no.
No, that didn't work.
No, they did not. They did not win. You can't run the ball against Georgia. Hold on. Let me just pull from the title of a video that I just recently published. You can't run the ball against Georgia.
There it is.
I'm going to make a substitution here. See if you can catch it. Ohio State needs to run the ball to win.
I see what you're doing there.
Game over. This end of game.
Because if you have CJ Stroud back there and we know he is passing, I'm sending Smile Mondon, JDJ, and Bullard, and the man himself.
It won't matter because a guard is going to sack him. Because the guard is going to be thrown like a rag doll into his kneecaps. That's what's going to happen.
And Daniel, what if I was also to you this vaunted offense? What's the thing that, you know, we've been known about Kirby? When teams get down to the red zone, what happens to their scoring percentage chance?
It seems like they don't score as many points as they could score.
So if it's a strength of yours, you come in saying, yes, but our red zone offense, which they have a very good red zone offense, and that's what they've been effective in the red zone.
It's going to be a big time matchup in the game.
It will
just
be.
Like it was do you know who was perfect in scoring touchdowns in the red zone when they played Georgia? Another team not famous for not making the college football play, famous for going 10-2, led by Coach Mark Richt. I mean Josh Heupel.
There it is. Mark Richt's name getting thrown out here a lot these days.
Listen, there's a lot of 10-2 teams. I don't know what to do.
I know.
I've been told for years that if your team's 10-2 and they don't win the national championship, that your coach is garbage.
That's what we were told.
I've been told
All
for
we're doing
years.
Is we're taking the words you told us and we're giving it back to you.
And so your team is 10-2. They have no chance to win the college football playoff. And so your coach is fill in the blank.
Trash.
Perfect in the red zone, Tennessee was when they came down to Athens. And then what had happened was
we steamrolled them. So last stat of note, Daniel, the Georgia offense has been known to kind of lose some steam down in the red zone. So Kirby suffocates teams. What if I was to tell you that Ohio State's defense ranks 118th in the nation in opponent red zone scoring percentage?
Oh, no. So the one chance that you had, you're just going to defecate all over yourself down there.
So that's what we're saying.
Okay. That's great. I'm not worried about this matchup. It's a long time till the Peach Bowl. I'm very excited. New Year's Eve, it's going to be an absolutely 8 o'clock kick. Ooh. It's just got everything that you want. Okay. But two college football powerhouses matched up against each other. We're going to have tons to say about this game. Those are our overreactions, our first thoughts, our first cuts. But we're going to have so much more to say. We're going to revisit the SEC championship game as we move forward in the week. We're going to continue to talk about the college football playoff. At some point, we're going to do bowl locks. And so if you're a person who likes betting on bowl games, that's going to be something that you're going to want to get your hands on. We got lots to do in the next couple weeks, but excited to have you along with us. Subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the audio, download and listen to both, and we will see you guys back here later in the week.
See you.